Just 3 years ago, even with his limited income from gardening jobs, Jose Caro could afford a small house in a Seattle suburb for himself and his disabled partner. But then, the rent went up and up.
That's one of the reasons why we are where we are, because we started renting at $750 a little room. It was a little house. And then he raised it to $1,200 and he wanted to go to $1,500. There's no way.
Now, he lives in an RV near an airport. He's not alone. With growing frequency, people like Jose, who already lived on the margins, can no longer afford a home along the West Coast. Reporting by the Associated Press shows that the overall homeless population in California, Oregon, and Washington has jumped by 13% to 168,000 people over the last 2 years. In that same period, people living unsheltered climbed 18% to 105,000. The rise in homelessness comes when the West Coast economy is booming, pulling in more people. In Seattle, tech companies like Amazon have brought in thousands of people earning high salaries. Demand for homes has led to a leap in housing costs.
I got economically zero unemployment in my city, and I got thousands of homeless people that actually are working and just can't afford housing.
People can move overnight. It's not very easy, but relatively easy to move more people into a city compared to how long it takes to build them housing.
Seattle leaders are now grappling over how and when to increase the supply of market rate and affordable housing.
So laundry, this is one of the sleeping rooms.
In West Coast cities, voters have approved more than $8 billion on affordable housing and other homelessness programs since 2015.
We transitioned thousands of people into permanent housing. The problem is thousands more entered it. It's not like you solve the problem once and it's done.
One of Seattle's newest shelters, called a Navigation Center, accepts people who aren't sober, couples, and pets, and has storage for belongings. But while the shelter has taken dozens of people off the streets, it's had a hard time placing them in permanent housing.
We have like 8 units each month and maybe 1,600 people that would qualify for them. So that tells you a little bit about the need.
Those left on the streets often have to deal with the city sweeping up campsites, with no other place for them to go.
By moving people around and saying that they're not allowed to survive, to make do with what they've got and do the best that they can, you're making it harder for them to survive.
Back by the airport, Jose worries about the next time police tell him to move his RV. The motor doesn't work, and his truck is not strong enough.
It's not our choice, really. You're forced into some things in life where you have to do them and not make decisions, just do them.
And for now, he's forced to survive on the streets. Gillian Flackis, Associated Press, Seattle.